You're done here. Get out. The roar shattered the polished silence of the boardroom, echoing off the glass walls like thunder. The board members didn't even raise their hands to vote. They didn't care about procedure, bylaws, or respect. They just wanted him gone. A black CEO who had lifted their crumbling empire from the ashes, discarded like trash in a room filled with smirks, whispers, and the sting of betrayal. But what they didn't know, what they couldn't see, was that he had already set the stage for their downfall. Hours later, their empire would burn, their fortune would vanish, and their power would collapse under the weight of his secret. Before I take you into this storm of betrayal, revenge, and corporate justice, smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and comment the country you're watching from. Because what you're about to hear is not just a story, it's a reckoning. He was not born into wealth, privilege, or power. His beginnings were humble, his rise improbable, his grit undeniable. He was the son of a teacher and a factory worker, raised in a neighborhood where opportunity was more dream than reality. He studied by candlelight, worked odd jobs, and taught himself the language of money and power. Every barrier placed in front of him was met with the same determination. He would climb over it, break through it, or build his own door. In college, professors questioned his ambitions. In interviews, recruiters dismissed him. In his early career, his ideas were stolen, his presence minimized, his value overlooked. But rejection became his fire. He stayed late when others left, studied markets while others slept, and built a reputation as the strategist no one could ignore. By 40, he was appointed CEO of a company that was circling the drain. Investors had given up, employees were restless, and the board was desperate. They handed him the wheel of a sinking ship, believing he'd fail. Instead, he rewrote the future. Under his leadership, revenues doubled. Stock prices soared. Competitors stumbled as his vision carved new markets. He cut waste, modernized systems, and inspired loyalty from the ground up. The company transformed from a relic into a titan, hailed in headlines, celebrated on magazine covers. But success has a way of drawing envy. The more he succeeded, the more the board resented him. Their whispers were constant. How could it be him? How could the man we doubted be the one who saved us? So they plotted. Quiet dinners, private calls, secret memos. Their goal wasn't the growth of the company, it was the removal of the man who had made them wealthy. And when the day came, they didn't even try to dress it up. He entered the boardroom expecting strategy. He left stripped of title, power, and dignity. No vote, no discussion, just cold eyes and the bitter taste of betrayal. He didn't protest. He didn't argue. He gathered his files, adjusted his suit, and walked out with the same calm grace he had carried since the beginning. But behind that calm, a storm raged. What the board didn't know, what they couldn't imagine, was that he had been preparing for this very moment. Because long before they plotted his removal, he had signed a secret deal, a deal that would unravel their empire the second they turned their backs on him. It began quietly. He secured rights to the company's critical supply chain through a shell firm he controlled. He negotiated exclusive partnerships with key clients, embedding clauses that activated upon his departure. He built an exit plan so tight, so precise, that when they stripped him of his title, they also stripped themselves of survival. Hours after his firing, the collapse began. Suppliers pulled contracts, citing the clauses he had hidden in plain sight. Clients withdrew, shifting their billions to his new firm. Banks froze accounts. The company's stock nosedived, billions wiped out in hours. The boardroom that had once roared with smug confidence now sat in stunned silence, screens glowing red with numbers plummeting. Investors demanded answers. Employees panicked. Shareholders revolted. News outlets exploded with coverage. Board fires CEO company implodes. Anchors shook their heads in disbelief. as experts called it the most catastrophic corporate blunder of the decade. The same board members who had sneered at him now faced the wreckage of their greed. Bankruptcy loomed, lawsuits piled up. Their empire, once unshakable, crumbled into dust. And where was he? Watching from a distance, not in defeat, but in triumph. His new company, built on the very deals he had engineered, absorbed the clients, the contracts, the talent. Within weeks, he stood at the helm of an empire greater than the one they had tried to steal from him. Headlines no longer called him former CEO. They called him a visionary, a titan, a man who turned betrayal into the most poetic revenge. The board members? Their names faded into obscurity, remembered only as the fools who destroyed themselves by underestimating the very man who saved them. This wasn't just business. This was justice. This was a reminder that power stolen is power borrowed, and betrayal always carries a cost. So let me ask you, what would you do if those you built up tried to tear you down? Would you walk away quietly, or would you turn their betrayal into your greatest victory? If this story gripped you, hit subscribe right now, turn on the bell, and comment the country you're watching from. Because the next story, it's even deeper, even more explosive, and you won't want to miss it. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of something greater. Stay locked in, stay subscribed, and never, ever let anyone steal the empire you've built.